Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Goodreads, and Instagram as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a great week since I last podcasted. It is a lovely rainy afternoon here. It's been a great rainy weekend, and it's just so cozy to sit and knit and have the rain falling in the background. So hence the name rainy afternoon knitting, or knitting in the rainy afternoon. But yeah, it's been just so nice, and it's been colder this week, so a lot of times I found myself huddled up under the covers, not even knitting, but with a book, because if you have a book, then you can just have your fingers out from the covers, and every other part of you can be hidden, and you can be turning the pages with just a finger, because we live in Texas, and it doesn't get that cold, so I kind of refuse to turn on the heater in the winter time unless it gets crazy low in the house. So the temperature in our house is probably cooler than it is in most people in the northern, because they have their heating on and stuff. But anyway, let's get into the knitting this week. I didn't get as much knit as I wanted to. I wanted to have like all this stuff finished, but I'm sure, as you guys can understand, holiday, Christmas time rolls around, there's always so much more to be doing, and I've started sending out Christmas cards, and those take a while because I handwrite every single one of them and send out over 100. So that's taken up a lot of time this week, and I'm not even done with it. And then the kids wanted to bake Christmas cookies, and so lots of time doing other kind of fun things. But I did get one thing done. This is from my daughter, and it is the green apple dress. And I actually have as one of my goals this year to do, I believe, 3 garments or sweaters for other people. So I'm counting this as one because it's pretty big and the yardage was a lot. So the top part you see here in the variegated is another Crafty Girl in her Snuffleupagus colorway, and then this part down here is Knit Pick City Tweed in the rhubarb color. So it's very long, and it goes down to my daughter's. I made her a bigger size so she could wear it longer, so it goes down to her mid shin, and I haven't woven in the ends or put on the buttons. I had plans that I was gonna have all that done and have the cute little buttons on it, but she wants star buttons, so I'm gonna try to find some pink star buttons, or maybe white, I don't know, maybe a cream would even work, but yellow I don't think would work with these colors. But yeah, so that is done, and it's very soft. This Knit Pick City Tweed is wonderfully soft. So then on to all the whips I didn't finish. So in a Housey yarn bag, I have my hand spun mittens that I'm making for my daughter. So I finished the first one. Well, no, that's not true because it doesn't have a thumb. I finished everything but the thumb for the first one. And this is kind of the sequence that the colors are going to be going in, and the thumb will be gray. And on the second one, I am to the part where I remove the stitches for the thumb and begin up the mitten. And I have plenty of yarn left, enough so that I could either keep it to where when she outgrows these I could snip it and make it longer, or I could do a little ornament for the tree or something like that. But I could do a baby hat. That might be really cute, a striped baby hat. But I did use up all of this lighter pink, and they're a little bit off. This one kind of goes into the lighter pink goes up into the higher part of the mitten rather than the cuff, but they're not, I don't think it's super noticeable. And so that is the Waiting for Winter mitten pattern by Susan B. Anderson. So it's the smaller size one, and I'm using my Knit Picks marbles, which I absolutely love. And then the other thing that I almost finished, but I just had a little more time this week, in my Mina Makes bag, my Christmas bag, because all the stuff is in Christmas bags right now. I have my Biscotte and C socks, and this is in the Conte de Fées color, which is Fairy Tale. Thanks, Shanita. My friend Shanita and I were discussing this yarn and speaking in French, trying to figure out like the little thing what it was, but it's beautiful pinks and blues and black. And I just have a couple more stripes and then the cuff for the second one. So yeah, hopefully be done today. I really am so close on all these things that I just want to finish them up like later tonight when we have this tradition that we're doing now in December nights where we sit around our little tree and play Christmas music, and I just kind of knit while we either sit and listen to the music, or if we don't want to do that, my husband will read a book and we'll just sit there while he reads and I will knit. So time to work on that later. And then the last thing that you've seen in a bag that was sweetly made for me by a podcast viewer, and I absolutely love this. It's very charming, the fabric that she chose. And this is the Adama cowl out of some wool folk, and I'm not sure if I will have, this is a tag and it's upside down. That's the tag. I'm not sure if I will have enough to complete this. That's all I have left, and the rows are getting quite substantial, so it might be really close. So last week, I believe I didn't put in a marker because I thought I'd be done. This is something that I could whip out in 2 days, 1 or 2 days, if I, wasn't busy with other stuff. But I think I was right about here. And so I knit that much. And I think it's gonna block out beautifully to where you can really see the diamond patterns, which are not super visible right now, but I think it's gonna look, it's so soft. I can't even, if you ever get the chance to get some of this yarn, I would highly recommend it because it is so extremely soft. So that will be working on later tonight too. And then I started 2 new things. One of them I just did a tiny bit on because I saw everybody was having, on Instagram, everybody was having their advent calendars and they were opening them, and I don't have an advent calendar, and I was feeling a little like, oh, I wish I had something. People had tea and they had yarn. Last year I had a little candle one, but I didn't end up getting anything this year for myself. And I was just like, oh, I wish I had an advent calendar. And then people were casting on Christmas socks. I thought, well, I don't have an advent calendar, but I do have Christmas yarn, I think. So I went and I kind of dove a little bit into my bowl of pre-wound stuff, and this is from a little while ago. I hope I put but I didn't put the tag in here. This is, and it's in a Tangled Skein CA bag, little Christmassy mittens. This is Cuppy Cakes yarn, and it is, I believe, in the Jingle Bells colorway. It's part of a kit with this and a Bling Your String bag, which is over there. And yeah, so it's really cute, these fun kind of, it's not quite red, and it's more like a Kelly green, and then a bubblegum pink or a watermelon pinkish red almost, and then it has I Love, this white section with little speckles in it. And I just barely cast on, and I'm not going to work on it anymore. I just wanted to cast it on, but there's the toe. So it's very cute, and I just wanted to cast it on to have Christmas socks. Now, until I get some other socks off the needles, I'm not going to work on it, but it, just to know that I have Christmas socks on the needle is kind of fun, and it kind of will motivate me to finish up my other, because I think I just have 2 or 3 more sock whips that I need to get done this year before I work on this one. I'm going to take a quick sip of tea. Before I show you my last project, I'm having some really cool tea today. And I wanted to kind of mention it because I don't know if anybody's looking for Christmas gifts for people in their life. If you're looking for Christmas gifts for a teenager, a young adult, or if you have a child or friend or family member who loves YA books, I have a subscription called Owl Crate. And I hadn't done subscriptions in years, but this was suggested on Instagram as a sponsored thing, as enabling, and it had Russian in the title, so I was like, I'm there, Russian. And so this was the next month's theme, but it came with, and it was the Alice in Wonderland theme, but it came with this tea because it's a book, and then it has like bookmarks or tea or hats, all kinds of different bracelets, all kinds of different things, and I really enjoyed getting it, and I probably will keep going until I get one that I don't like, and then I'll probably stop before that if I have to. But this is the tea, and it is Riddles Tea Shop and Curiosities, the Mad Hatter's Wonderland Elixir, and it's an Owl Crate exclusive tea blend. But I don't know if they'll have this exact one, but it's a new to me tea shop that might be fun to go check out, and it's Riddle's Tea Shop, and it's Riddle like how it's normally spelled, but shop is spelled Shoppe, Shoppe. And yeah, it's really cute, this tin that it came in. I think I'll keep it afterwards. And you can open it up, and it has, it's really cute. It's the cat from Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat, drinking some tea. And then there are little tea bags inside. So I was so surprised when that came in the owl crate, and very happy because I am a tea drinker. So yeah. So I had just recorded the whole podcast and went to press stop on the recording and realized that it could cut off 12 minutes into podcasting. So I get to do the whole second half of this again. I hope I'm showing the right thing. I don't know what all I've shown, but I know I just talked about the tea. But this, no wait, okay. I think this was the last thing I had to talk about. And this is in a Bling Your String bag. And I am knitting. I wanted to join in on the Sparkle Cow because we have that going along in the podcast group right now. And it's going November and December. And I hadn't cast on for my project for it yet. So I really wanted to join in to knit with you guys. And this is some Western Sky Knits in their Bella colorway. I had it in my stash. I was saving it specifically for our group Sparkle Cow. And this is a pattern by Hilary Smith Calais, and it's, I believe, the Appalachia. I'm not sure of the exact name, but it's in my project page notes. And so I just have a tiny little bit cast on, and I'll show you later in enabling. I got a prize for the Sparkle Cow. So yeah, I think that's what I was talking about. I've never actually had to, I guess I've been lucky in that 2 years I've been podcasting, I've never had to re-record same thing over and over again, but it does feel very, very weird to have to do that. And so next spinning, I am spinning up a prize for a Patreon, and we have a Patreon account for the podcast, and it helps, pay with shipping costs for all the prizes, and it helps to pay to get prizes for different knit-alongs and stuff like that, and hosting for Libsyn and iTunes and stuff. So I do different prizes throughout the year for the Patreon donors, and this one that I'm doing is some hand spun from me, and I let them pick which one they wanted, and it is some rock and string in this gorgeous pink colorway, and this is the last little bump of pencil roving. I did this myself. I make them into pencil rovings that I have to spin up for my friend. And so pencil roving is basically, see if I can find it. I just take the braid and I undo it, so it's a very long strip of fiber, and then I break it into tiny little bits that I can spin just from that, because for me it helps to make the spinning more even and more consistent. And I have only been spinning for a little while, so I'm not an expert still by any means. And then so that's spinning, and after I finish that, I'm going to have like a plying party because I have another bobbin of things that needs to be plied. And then I think I talked about group news next. So in the group, the BookishStitcher podcast on Ravelry, we have the Sparkle Cow going on right now, and it's for November and December. Anything with sparkle yarn. It can be a work in progress. I'm not picky about that. I don't really care. And then there's a chatter and FO thread for both objects, for both things in there, so you can just put everything in there, and I'll draw prizes from that. But I got a prize for you guys from that, and because yarn does not, if you have headphones on and don't like crinkling, you might want to turn the volume down. But since yarn does not like to travel alone, I got myself one, and then I got one for you guys. So this is from Knitty and Color, and it is their little sparkle mini set. So this is the one for you guys, and it is the Glam Rock Sparkle Sock. And then this is the Christmas mini skein set. I got that one for me to work on because I have a mitered square blanket and I need to work on it. I thought this might be fun to work on during Christmas color time. And I haven't worked on it in months and months, but yeah, this will go for you guys, along with a bag that I'm gonna buy from my friend who has an Etsy store. She sells bags and makes cute little baby things, and her name is Jen, and her shop is the same as her Ravelry name, I believe. It's just Playing with Needles. So that'll be some fun prizes for the Sparkle Cow. We also had a year-long read-along of short stories going on there in the group, and we had the Chance Traveler for November, and then I asked my friend Brenda, who has so wonderfully been doing all the hard work for and helping me with the short stories this year and posting all the things. So thank you so much, Brenda. It's just been amazing how she's so thorough, and so I love like going in those posts and reading them because she does such an amazing job. And I asked her, I was like, oh, can you pick, a story for this month? Because I know that she probably has some of her favorites too. And so she picked The Gift of the Magi, which is a wonderful Christmas story. And then I put up a post for the Year of Designers. So next year, I like to do a theme every year with my knitting. And next year, I'm going to be doing a month of a different designer all year long. And I could do years and years of this because there are so many designers that I want to knit from. But I'm actually wearing a sweater from one of the designers I'm doing next year. So this is my Ease sweater by Alicia Plummer, and it is hands down my favorite sweater. I wear it all the time. I love that it's longer in the cuffs. It fits wonderfully. I love the turtleneck option. There's an option for this, and I did it because I love turtlenecks. And the little drawstring I-cord, and it's made out of Malabrigo Rios, so it's just soft and it washes up really well. And I just really like my hand knit sweaters to be cozy. I don't really love super tight fitting like sweaters or stuff like that. I just want to feel like my knitwear is giving me a big hug when I'm wearing it. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. And then my hat that I have on is a Jane Richmond pattern called Bailey, and it's done out of Madeline Tosh in the Found Pottery colorway. And I was realizing when I put on this sweater, I was looking through my hats and I was trying to find a purple hat to wear so that I could have one to match kind of my sweater, but I don't have a purple hat. I have tons of blue ones. I have this one it's white with some pink, and kind of it has purple speckles, but it doesn't appear to be really purple when you look at it. But I have a gray and green one, but I need to remedy that next year and do a purple hat. So I think that's everything with that. I wanted to share this little thing that a tip that I found. I posted on Instagram, but I don't know if you're like me. I knit a ton of hand knit socks to give as gifts, and I'm always looking for the perfect size box to put them in when I wrap them up, because it's kind of an awkward size. You need it to be a certain kind of smallness, and for me, I knit so many that I need a whole bunch, so like a set would be nice instead of random boxes here and there. So I was at World Market getting little samplers of hot cocoa and coffee and teas and stuff, which I'll show next week because they're part of a knitted gift. And I saw these at the World Market food section, and they're actually for putting in little baked goods like truffles, or I guess you could do little miniature cookies or any kind of candies that you made. But it's a little box. It's kind of festive looking, and they come flat, so you just kind of fold it up to make it into a box shape. And then it comes with these stickers, which are perfect, which say "Made with Love." So I think that's great for knitting things, and you could probably just put this as is. You could put a little bow on it, tie a ribbon, but I'm going to wrap it after this box is done. And then I wanted to show you how it looks in there, because these are some fiber knit dye work socks that I knit for my friend Becca for Christmas. And she has like a size 9.5 foot, so I don't know if this would work on men's sizes, but it does fit quite nicely in there. Just fold it down. I mean, it's tight, but it fits. And then push it in, and ta-da! You have a cute, adorable little box that says "Made with Love." And I just thought that was great, so I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's from World Market. And then I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who came out and supported the Open Skies yarn update that I did this last week. We sold out of the Winter Skies color in a couple of the bases, so I'm working on going to dye up some more of those next week. I got the sock blanks, the bare ones in, so my husband's going to maybe dye with me one day, and we can have just this day where he's hand painting the sock blanks and I'm dyeing up some Winter Skies color. And I also want to say thank you to everyone all the indie dyers who told me how much yarn I needed to bring to my first festival that I'm going to be at. And it is indeed more yarn than I have in my stash. I have just over 100 skeins in my stash, and the consensus kind of from a few people that told me was that I need between like 170 to like just over 200 skeins for a festival, because while you won't sell all of that, you don't want your booth to look empty. So yeah, I need to get a lot more wool to dye. I do not have anywhere near that. So what I had been doing with the Etsy store was kind of 80% of the profits I went back into buying more wool to dye and more dyes, and then 20% I'd been letting myself keep and being like, okay, well, if you want to buy some yarn or fiber or whatnot, then you can have that little bit kind of pay yourself for all the hard work you were doing. And I'm not gonna be able to do that anymore. I'm gonna have to put 100% of the profits back into just buying more wool to dye and more dyes. So yeah, hopefully I can work out a schedule for myself and kind of get all that dyed up and stuff. And so there will, from this point on, always be yarn in the shop, because I will be putting more in there all the time every week. So if you are looking to treat yourself over the winter holidays, and you would like to try some Open Skies yarn, or you've already tried it and you love it, if you can go there and you can see what's in the shop if you'd like to, and that would be awesome. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there was more I talked about. Oh, I'm trying to remember what all I said from the first video. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to my friend Brandy, who is Eat My Yarns, and she sent me a lovely little package that came in the mail, and it had cookies and a little bat that my daughter quickly confiscated, and teas and mini skeins, and it was just so sweet of her. I had sent her some different amounts of fiber and all kinds of stuff for her birthday, and she kind of sent it as a thank you package, so it was really sweet. So thank you, Brandy. And we have lots of Christmas cookies in our house, and they were very yummy, the ones that you made. So I think that's everything. I hope I can remember. And most importantly, dear my husband phone, I hope you are still recording right now. So yeah, the book for this week. I've been reading Christmas books all throughout this season, and last week I reviewed Tinsel and talked about how it was kind of an author who was exact opposite from his subjects. He was going down and kind of immersing himself in a different Christmas culture than he was used to. He's being from New York and coming down to a very religious Texas town of Frisco, and kind of immersing himself in that and the differences. And to me, it was kind of mocking. And I guess if you like, and I love dry humor, I really enjoy it, but a lot of people said that they liked it as in a kind of a David Sedaris style. So if you like that, you might like it. And I probably would have loved it after Christmas, but reading it before Christmas, anytime I would see something really elaborate and expensive, I was like, oh, that's, it just made me think of the book kind of. And he's kind of a little bit negative about charity giving, and which you would think, how could anybody be negative about that? But it's surprising in the way that he kind of thinks about it in the book. But if that's something you would like, I definitely recommend you checking it out. I did finish that. And then for this week, I wanted a book that was just happy. I didn't want any death in it. I didn't want cancer. I just wanted a book where it could have a conflict, but I wanted it to all turn out okay. So the book that I read for this week, was called The Christmas Train by David Baldacci. And it is a book about a man who He's a journalist, and he's been a journalist all of his life, I believe, and he's been like a war journalist, and he's basically done it all in regards to the journalist profession. He's reported on all kinds of different things, including a whole bunch of very high danger things. And he is leaving from the East Coast on Christmas time to go visit his girlfriend, his long distance on and off again girlfriend in LA. And he has to take the train because he has been forbidden from flying on airplanes because he has anger management. He had an anger management issue on a plane, and he's not allowed to fly for a while. So he's taking the train. And you kind of know from the book that he had a girlfriend that he really loved, and he wanted to propose to her, but she just had walked out on him, and it's kind of always affected his life. And he's never loved another girl. You know where this is going, right? He's never loved another girl. He's always just felt horribly sad about this girl that got away, and he never understood why she left. He thought that their relationship was really good. So while he's going to visit this girlfriend, they don't live together. They've been dating on and off for a couple years, but they're not really serious. And so it's not like, I don't like Christmas books that have like adultery in them. If, you know, wife and kids and adult, that stuff bothers me. If it's a on and off again girlfriend that you never see, that doesn't really bother me. So he gets on this train, and lo and behold, the girl that he always loved that left him is on the train. And as you can imagine, you know, stuff goes on from there. And it's just very heartwarming, kind of cute, and there is a conflict, but it's a Mother Nature conflict, and it all does turn out okay. I'll just tell you that because I was listening to this book yesterday, finishing it off, and I was thinking that the Mother Nature conflict was not going to turn out okay, and I was feeling very upset. I was like, this better not happen. Nobody needs to die right now, because I was feeling pretty upset. But it did all turn out okay. And everybody ends up with somebody and happy, and it's just a very, you know, happy, feel-good Christmas book. And there were criticisms on Goodreads, people saying that they didn't think the writing was that great, but I haven't read a ton in this genre, but I feel like in regards to this, like, cheesy, but in a good way, Christmas stories, that the writing is on par. It's not amazing, but it's not atrocious. I was listening to the audiobook, but, you know, there were what bothers me is huge grammatical mistakes, I guess. But it didn't have any of those, and I thought the writing was cute. It was a fun, cute, light Christmas story. And so that is The Christmas Train by David Baldacci. And I would love to know if you've read a plethora of books in this kind of subject, and I don't want romance I don't want romance Christmas novels, because I don't read like romance. This had a little bit of romance, but more on like the Jane Austen side rather than like the whoa side. I don't read those kind of books. But if you've read some Christmas books that you love that don't have horribly sad things, because I don't really want to be sobbing a whole bunch while I'm reading books this time of year. So if you've read one and you loved it, please let me know in the group thread, and I would love to just check out some more, because I do have, I think, 2 or 3 more weeks of, I'm not going to be recording on Christmas Day. That's a Sunday. I'm going to skip that week, but you probably already guessed that. But I do have a couple more weeks of books that I'm going to be reading Christmas stories. So yeah, I hope that I remembered to say everything, since this is the second time around. And so I think I'm all done. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye guys.